Hello everybody, welcome back to the Within Japan YouTube channel. The live stream is about to start, so make yourself comfortable. But before it does start, got to tell you, here on the channel, we're not sponsored by anybody. However, when we are traveling this beautiful country, there is only one telco that we trust. There's only one telco that provides you an unlimited great service, and that of course is Secura Mobile. All of our live streams that you see on this channel are done via Secura Mobile. Now, if you are coming to Japan, you will need a SIM card or a portable Wi-Fi device. So why not help a small insignificant YouTuber out by clicking on our affiliated link listed in the description below. It costs you no more, but you know you will be helping out the channel big time. Also, throughout the course of this stream, if you do want to buy me a coffee, we have a PayPal link listed in the description below. 50 cents or $1. It really does help a small insignificant YouTuber compete with all the other big YouTubers out there. Anyway, that's enough of me. It is time for the live stream, so sit back and enjoy today's broadcast. Hello members, I am still feeling sick. I don't understand it. Now, I got sick at the last place I stayed at Ueno, and I put it down to the onsen for some reason. I don't know, whether it be the humidity or whether there was a bug in there or I don't know, there's something going on. And I just can't get rid of it. My lungs are just so heavy and I have so much gunge that I just can't get rid of. So any suggestions, let me know. I've went out and I bought some air purifiers just to try clean the air in here. Hopefully to give the lungs a bit of a clean out. I'm on congestion medication that I just got from the shop. I'm on nasal sprays, even though they don't generally work on me because it's kind of like all broken up in there. I'm on the flushes, I'm on everything, and it is just not clearing up. So if any of you have any suggestion, do let me know. But it's been going on for a couple of weeks now. What could it have been? I don't know. Is it like the damp environment? Is it the chemicals that were in there that I don't know, triggered something? Is it a cesspool for viruses in onsens? I don't know. I mean, they cleaned it every day. They cleaned it as you would expect in Japan. They clean it all the time. But it's horrible. It's here. I just can't get rid of it. Anyway, do let me know. I hope you're all doing very well. It's kind of crappy weather where I am at the moment in Melbourne. But of course, we are going to show you Japan. That's why it's called the Within Japan channel. But I tell you, in Melbourne this week, it's all happening. When Victor first moved in to the place here, I always warn everybody coming from overseas that comes to live in Australia to be very, very cautious. And when Victor first arrived, I said to him, you have to be careful walking down footpaths in Melbourne because there's so many drug addicts in Melbourne, and they're not classed as being drug addicts in Australia anymore. They're classed as having an illness, so they're allowed out in the public to do what they wish. And they drive over people in their cars. And he was like, oh, do they really? And I said, yes. And I showed him what had happened like last year and the year before and the year before and the year before of cars driving over people. And he was like, oh, wow, this should not theoretically happen again, though. It's happened. It shouldn't happen again. And the other day, it happened yet again. People were mowed down by a car in Melbourne CBD. And I'm really lost for words of it. Every time I mention something, especially in a public forum, about the crime in Australia, I always get criticised by Australians going, if you don't like it, bugger off. This is completely unacceptable. Absolutely, completely unacceptable that such a small population has such bad crimes all the time. While people were being run down by the car, there were also people being shot and killed here. So it's just so unbelievable. Never any police around, and because these I don't want to call them people, but what can I call them? These idiots, these drug addicts that get in the cars and do these things because they're classed as having an illness. There's no consequence to them. Absolutely none. The guy that has done this latest attack has not been charged or anything because he's ill. And it really does bug me. There is a connection with Japan in all of this rattling on that I'm doing, but it bugs me because when I grew up, if you took drugs, you knew it was wrong and you would get in trouble. But now, if you take drugs, even though it's wrong and still somewhat illegal, you actually don't get in trouble. And the government, through taxpayers' money, is encouraging this action. For example, why is there so much attacks in the city area for drugs, in Melbourne especially? And that's because the government open up and pay for, out of taxpayers' money, these things called shooting galleries, which are shops where the public are, like literally in the heart of the city or regional or suburbs and that, where you can go in and take whatever drugs you want without fear of any sort of consequence. The government says we'd prefer you to take drugs in government paid for buildings and on the streets. But they take drugs in these buildings and then they go out on the streets. One of these drug shooting galleries opened up opposite a primary school in Richmond. Now the students have to be locked up in the school during school hours because of the drug addicts coming out of the shooting galleries. And that's unfair for the students, yet the drug addict gets a priority. In the city, again, we have all these attacks of people being mowed down by cars that are driving on the footpaths, running people down. You know, the people that were run down the other night were just standing at the tram stop waiting for a tram. Peak period, Friday night, and was just mowed down by car. And, you know, again, they take the drugs in the city, in these shooting galleries. They get high as a kite. They come out and they do things like this. And then there's no consequence afterwards because they're classed as having an illness. The government can't hold these idiots responsible because they've encouraged them to take it. Otherwise, there'd be an inquiry. You know, this drug addict mowed people down. You know, where did he take drugs? Well, he took it in the government paid for taxpayer building. And it's got so bad here that I've mentioned this on a stream before that you know, the priorities in Australia have got very, very wrong. There was a Ronald McDonald House, and you know, I'm not a big fan of McDonald's, but Ronald McDonald House is a very important thing. It's where sick children get to go with their parents, and they get to stay together while the child goes through some very, very serious, you know, hospitalization, medication, and treatments, and all that sort of stuff. They closed down a Ronald McDonald House in Melbourne to open it up as a drug shooting gallery because they said the priority was more about making sure that the druggos were safe rather than the children. You know, the parents can go visit the children in hospital. They don't need to stay with the children. So the priorities are so very, very wrong here. And that's why I like Japan. And people constantly in Australia say to me, they go, oh, yes, you know, you like Japan, you might as well go over there and live over there, you know. I wouldn't want to be living in a police state, in a state of that does this and, you know, has all these rules and laws and police state. But you've got to have rules. And you've got to have severe consequences and discipline and all that sort of stuff to make a community work and feel safe. If you don't break the law, you don't think about the law. And when I'm in Japan, I never think about, oh my God, you know, what if the police arrest me on this 28-day or 30-day clause where they don't have to charge you, where they can hold you if they just think you've done something wrong? Because generally I don't go over there and think, what can I do wrong? I think like everybody over there and go, well, okay, I just want to do the right thing. And because of it, it makes it very, very safe that you can walk around at night, you can walk in the city area, and you don't have to fear a car running you over or somebody coming up with a knife and attacking you. You know, stabbings in Melbourne are very common in the city area. People got killed last year. And I don't understand why we've gone down this path and why we continue to go down this path. And it's only going to get worse because the generation that's growing up now in Australia, they're seeing what it is like now, and to them, that is normal. And so they'll never go back. They'll never go back into discipline or anything difficult again because, this is normal to them. Oh, who cares if somebody gets stabbed or run over or, whatever. People just don't care. So which means the next generation is going to be worse. Oh, we need more freedoms. Oh, we need more freedoms. Oh, we need more freedoms. So I really do like Japan because of the whole safety aspect. If something goes wrong in Japan as well, and sure, there are crimes that happen there. That's another argument people in Australia say to me. They go, oh my God, crimes happen in Japan as well, And it's like, of course they do. They happen everywhere in the world. But per head capita, they are the lowest crime place on the planet Earth. But the thing is, if you do a crime in Japan, there's no pity on you. The full extent of the law is put on you. And you are treated as an example. The people don't want to do the crime that you did because you're in a hell of a lot of trouble. And here, of course, it just doesn't happen. So I never feel safe in Australia. When I'm in Australia, I always sit at home. I pretty much never leave the property. I walk Bella around the block and then I come home. But even when I walk Bella around the block, I'm always on guard. I'm always concerned with what could potentially happen to me out on the streets. I know there's no police out there. And even if there was police, they wouldn't come to your aid. If you were to be attacked in Melbourne or anywhere in Australia, people would pull out their mobile phone rather than assisting you. And that was a good example the other night. When people were being mowed down, there were more people with mobile phones in their hands and offering any sort of assistance. Where in Japan, of course, you get assistance. So all of this conversation that I've been having at the moment with you now is just why I like Japan so much, and why why the world doesn't follow Japan more, I don't know. Of course, there are some things over there that should be changed, but generally speaking, I think they have the balance very, very much right. Here I am, a hermit locked in my house in Australia because I can't go anywhere. It's too unsafe. Even Victor feels unsafe now that he's physically seen people being mowed down here. And because of it, I suppose it does affect my health and my mental health and everything, being stuck inside. So when I go to Japan, the amount of walking I do is... I've gone from one extreme to the other. So when I was walking up Mount Fuji, for example, you might go, oh my God, you were struggling a bit more than normal, than a normal person would. Well, I did no exercise before going to Japan because I sit in my house. As I say, I walk Bella around the block. That's it. Nothing more. I really even hate going to the shop. I dread going to the shop to buy food. So I pick certain times of the day and I dart down there as quick as I can. So the amount of walking I did, or the amount of exercise I do when I'm in Japan, really is extraordinary considering what my health is like when I'm back here. And when I was in Kobe, however you want to pronounce it, it's up to you. I say it how I say it, and it's just my Australian accent. I call it Kobe, but Rimuru always used to go, it's not Kobe, it's Kobe, and whatever. You know where it is. When I was in Kobe, God, now I'm saying both of them. I walked for miles on the particular day of the video you're going to see. So it was hot, it was humid, it was the worst weather on the planet Earth. It really, 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 really was. But even that was not a deterrent not to get out and about in Japan. At no point was I walking around, and I was near death a lot of times. I was going. At no point did I think it's too hot. I've got to stop this walking. Japan is just such a pleasure in any weather condition to walk around and explore. And on this particular day, I'd walked to my hotel, which was a long way away from the Shinkansen. Then I went down to the bay. Then I went on the Ferris wheel. Then I walked around and recorded a video. Then I went on a boat. Then I walked back to my hotel. Then I walked to the shop. Back to my hotel. I went back down to the bay to do something else again. Walked back to the Shinkansen stop. And then I caught the cable car, which you're about to see, up to the Herb Garden. Spent the thing in Herb Garden. Came back down. Went somewhere else. I did a lot of walking. Anyway, the Herb Garden is sensational. It is directly behind the Shinkansen stop. So even if you're only going to Kobe for a day or a few hours, it's only round the corner from Osaka. You can catch a local train. then, you know, there's so much to do. When you go up to the herb garden at night, though, there's only one section that's open. That's the very top bit. But it's really nice. You know, what I learned, and I've been up to the herb garden a lot of times, when you go up there during the day, there is a lot of tourists that go up there. And you know me, I'm not a big fan of tourists. When you go up at night, which I did, it's only the Japanese that are up there, and I think it's because the locals go, the tourists go, well, we don't want to go up there because the whole thing's not open. So, but the nighttime is really good because it's just locals going up there, having a meal, just relaxing after a very hot day and a very full-on day because Japanese people work very, very hard. So this is, all of that ranting and raving is just an introduction to the video which you are about to see of me going up to the herb garden on the cable car. Pretty long video. So we go up in the cable car, we have a little look at the herb garden. I have something to eat up there, so I get to show you some food. We have a nighttime view of the herb garden up the top, and then we come down on the cable car at night, and then we'll come back and have a chat if any of you are here. Enjoy the herb garden at Kobe.
I'm traveling around, taking center stage, having the time of my life and lying about my age. So jump on board with I'm all abroad.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Within Japan YouTube channel. If it is your first time here, please click on the subscribe button and the notification tab. If you would like to buy me a drink, we've got a PayPal account. The link is in the description below. It's been a very long day, I have to say. We're heading to the ropeway in Kobe, going up to the herb garden. The ropeway is a little bit difficult to find, I've got to say. Every time I come here and try catch it, it is a little bit difficult to find, but we are here now, and hopefully we'll be able to get up there, he says. Wow, what a mountain range. I've forgotten how stunning this mountain range is. And there it is there. There's a ropeway going through the trees even as we speak. You can walk up to the herb garden. That's not going to happen. Here we go. First floor, herb garden, ropeway. So the whole herb garden is open throughout the course of the day. In the evening, only part of it is open. But I'm sure it's going to be perfectly fine. There it is. Here we go. Acceleration mode on. Soon. There's another one coming in. Here we go. And take off. Boom! Oh my god, it's bouncy. We can see already that we have already done a great height distance. This ropeway is very, very steep when it takes off. I would say it's one of the steepest ropeways for taking off that I've ever been on. I've been on a lot of them. You can see already we're up a great distance, and we haven't even commenced our journey yet. It does plateau off a little bit as we come around here. Get a beautiful side shot of Kobe. Some amazing skyscrapers in Kobe. Kobe, whatever you want to call it. I call it Kobe. Not a bad old view, is it? And I'm pretty sure that I've walked most of it today. Stay on board after this because we might show you a nighttime shot coming down at nighttime. Theory says if it is dark when we come down. We'll add that onto this video as well, I think, to give you both perspectives as we get higher and higher. Beautiful countryside. Oh look, there's a waterfall down there. And all of this nature is directly behind the Shinkansen. You don't even need to travel. Get off the Shinkansen, get straight onto this. Wow. I like how they have the safety wire / net underneath. That if, I don't know, if the cable broke in an earthquake or something. Oh, is that a dam over there? That is. Oh my god, we can look out the window at the dam. Wow, that must be Kobe's water supply. As the sun comes blaring through, let's have a look around here. Well, we get rid of that pesky sun. Wow, I'm looking at where I have actually been today. I can see through some of the bridges and that are around the city. I have done the kilometres today. I've even been out on a boat. Oh, this net that you fall on, if all goes wrong, is quite disconcerting in a way. Wonder what it is like up here. No, I don't want to know. Mark, shut up. We don't want to know what it's like in an earthquake. Oh, as we have a little quick peek at the mountains. Hope you don't mind me flicking the camera around and trying to show you as many different angles as I can. I used to film these things in 360 degrees where you could move the camera around, but nobody was ever interested in them. So we went back to the stock standard video. Now I think this stop is closed. This one's open during the day. Here comes the other people in behind us. Whoa, were they praying into us? Hi. Hi. They're having a fun old time here on the, it's unair conditioned, I've got to say. It's pretty bloody hot, but I think he's out on a date, I think. As we look over here at the other cable cars, or the people over there, after their fun day. Lots of good food up here, pretty cheap. For a tourist attraction, it's rather cheap for food. When I say food, I mean good quality food. I don't mean like crap food. As car number 52 gets out of the way. Go! It's our turn! You can start to see part of the herb garden. We can't go down to this part in the evening. You can only go down it during the day. It is already on my channel from years ago, if you do want to see. Oh! Didn't like that. Did not like that, but I do like that. Beautiful mountain range over there. Whoa. Oh, here you go. So there's part of the herb garden. I have walked down this mountain before. Oh yes, I have. I walked down the mountain because I wanted to see the waterfall. But I will walk up tomorrow to see the waterfall. I might get a really early start, maybe. Lots of little cafes all on the walk down if you do walk. Of course, going down is not as bad as going up. I had a cup of tea there once. Nice little tea room. So we look down there at another part of the herb garden. It's called the herb garden, in case you're wondering, because they have herbs in the garden. That's why it's called the herb garden. Look at that! Sensational building, is it not? As we look back towards Gobi. And the final part of our journey is coming up. We are going to be doing a live stream up here. Of course, you are watching a pre-recorded video. This is a recording. If you would like to watch the live stream before we go down there again, you can do so at the link that should, if Mark remembers to put it in there, that should be appearing at the top of the screen right now. On come the brakes. As car number 52 holds us up again, this man is dying to get us out of here so he can sit down near the fan again and get nice and cool. That's what he's doing. As we say, thank you very much. Have a good night. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the herb garden closing at 9 o'clock tonight. First thing I want to do is get a drink. So we'll have a look at this in the live stream as previously mentioned. All of our live streams and videos are uploaded using Secure Mobile, and even though they don't sponsor us, we do pay for their service, and we hope that if you come to Japan you may use their service as well. There is a little advert coming on. We shall watch the advert and then we'll come back and we'll go down while it's dark to give you both sort of like looks at it. Copyright music. Dang! Hello everybody, welcome to the Lucky Cat Shrine here in Tokyo, Japan. If you are coming to Tokyo or Japan, you're going to need one of two things, either a SIM card or a portable Wi-Fi device. And although we are not sponsored by them, we highly recommend Secure Mobile, and we recommend them because they're a Japanese-owned and operated company that provides high-speed, unlimited internet no matter where you go in this amazing country. Now, if you'd like to help a small, insignificant YouTuber out, in the description below, there's an affiliated link for Secure Mobile. If you click on that link, you will pay no extra, but what you will be doing is you will be supporting this channel by giving us a couple of extra bucks. Secure Mobile, our number one choice when traveling in Japan. Now that's enough of me. It's time to get back to the video. When you come up in the evening, unfortunately, a lot of things are closed that you would normally be allowed to go up and see. There's a path up there, for example, but They do light up the buildings at night, and of course you get to see Kobe and all its beautiful lights when it does light up. So yeah, pubs like that unfortunately are closed. The herb garden further down is also closed, but you can see the view is spectacular as this gentleman waits for the sun to go down. So that's what you're looking at. So going from the left to the right, you got Osaka Port, and you got Osaka. It's very close, isn't it, Osaka? Rokko Island, directly in front of us, where those skyscrapers are, and Hat Kobe. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mountain range. I have been up here and walked completely down the mountain. I caught the cable car up, walked down the mountain and seen the waterfall and the like that you can see during daylight hours. I'm going to try get to the waterfall in a different video from this one to show you it. I'll try to do that tomorrow. But tonight is literally just about being up here where they serve great food and good drinks. This is non-alcoholic, this is lemonade, locally made lemonade. And it's just a really nice chilled place to be. And now the sun's going down, it is cooling down somewhat, which is nice. I don't know what's in here. That's probably just a room of junk. Yes, it just looks like the maintenance room. But welcome, it says. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's have a look around anyway. We'll do a couple of different shots, so I might cross backwards and forwards to me as the sun goes down. I want to show you it when it's dark, but I also want to show you when it's light here as well. Jump on a hammock, listen to the cicadas. While the breeze is just coming through the trees. It's working its way from the mountain range straight across at the moment, so that's quite nice. I think you come up here not as a tourist attraction. I think you do come up here just as relaxation. There's no real tourists up here. It is just locals. And I think it's just to take away the stress of the day, you know. I'll have a look at the plants out here in a second. Let's go in to the gallery. Oh, with the beautiful air conditioning. Look at this doll's house. My goodness. I don't know. Girls had pretty cool toys, I think, compared to us boys. I mean, I know we had cars and trucks and everything, but like this was a whole adventure playground, wasn't it? In a doll's house. But now it's 2023, so you can't play with a doll's house if you're a boy, I guess. What do we got here? These stuff that's grown in the herb garden, I think. You could sniff them, you could try them. You know what I think it is? I think it's a perfumery. Just look. And I think that's what they're making behind us here, perfumes. Yeah. Where you can sniff the stuff. All right, let's sniff F. Ooh, that smells nice. And then you guess what's in there. I guess it's definitely a lavender in there. I love my lavenders. Oh my god, this is so cool. Oh, you can take away the strips. My hand is slightly full as I try grab a strip here. Oh my god, nice. I think they'll sell them in the gift shops. Here we go. This is the sniffing table. Seriously, like anywhere else in the world, these would be stolen with that, especially there's no staff here. Let's set up the camera and sniff a few things while the big insect is staring at me. All right. I won't be able to read any of these because they're all in Japanesian. But let's give it a go. What do we got here? Yes, it's all in Japanesian. Let's see if I can guess these scents. That smells very citrusy. Very nice. Citrus. Let's say not an orange, but not a lemon citrus. Oh, that smells like toilet water. We won't be buying that one. Actually, we might. If you want a relationship not to last, grab yourself that as a gift for your loved one. That's definitely got lavender in it. I think that's lavender and lavender with the orange as well. One more, because there is a big beast down here. Oh, it's like cloves of stuff. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know what that is. That was awful. Oh God, there's bugs everywhere. I think they're being attracted by the smell and the aromas of the oils. Oh, so you can test the oils here. Then you can get the little card, and then you can get your oils. Let's try this again. It's horrible having your hands full, isn't it? All right, let's try this again. What have we got here? I think these are in English. What have we got here? Cypress. What does cypress smell like? We won't be getting cypress. What else have we got? Cinnamon leaf. No way. Oh, that's not how I expected that to smell. We won't be getting that one. Sandalwood is always a classic. That smells different to the sandalwood I know. I wonder if people have mixed these up. That doesn't smell like sandalwood I know. Frankincense. Wasn't that something that Jesus got? Peppermint. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes, we could eat that. The peppermint's nice. That's number 16. Rosemary. Oh, the rosemary smells very nice, very sweet. And lime. It says lime cold prevention. So it's like battery acid. I think we've learnt absolutely nothing out of that smelling bit of vision, have we? Apart from my smell is not very good. If I think it smells like battery acid. What's through here? I don't know what is through here. There may be nothing through here at all. Just maybe a sit-down area. Okay, here we go. As we look at some plants of some description. That apparently is what is here. but not blooming. Well, I don't know. And here's what's over here. Gardener doing his thing in the evening. Make sure everything looks pretty. As the lights all slowly start to come on. I think we'll have a look in the shops while we await for the sun to go down. But let's have a look. Let's do a city shot to start with, so you can see the city while the sun is still up. So here is where you can get your meal. See the forest starting to light up there? Cooking herbs. Ah, there we go. We've got all sorts of herbs going on here. Teas. Frankincense. We didn't like that. Remember, we didn't like that smell. Cooking again. Tea again. And we need a bin. They've got a bar outside here. All rather relaxing and nice, isn't it? Where can I throw my rubbish? There we go. Boom. What have we got up here? What can we have? We can have a number 3, if you like a sausage. We can have a number 1. Actually, that's not a bad price, really, is it? Garlic steak beef infused for 1,250. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that. I am gonna get that. Why the hell not? He says, as we come over here for the view that you really want to see. Not this view, even though that's pretty. The view you really want to see is out here. And I might get some dinner, and then after dinner we'll come back and have a look at it when it's dark. What a spectacular setting this is. And relatively cheap, really, when you think about it. In total, with the meal and the drink, it was $20. And that might sound a lot, but I think you'll agree, it looks pretty damn fine. And we're going to try it now with the plastic cutlery, and the insects keep twiggling at my nose. Blasted insects. Blasted Mother Nature. Here we go. Let's try the mint lemonade to start with. Anything with mint in's got to be a winner. It's good. It's good. All right, let's try this meat. Can I cut this meat with a cheap plastic knife and fork? This is a question that we must ask. And yes, we can. That's how good it is cooked. Oh my god, it smells insane. It smells very like it's garlic encrusted meat, of course. Oh, it is juicy as all hell. That's extraordinary. A wedge, seasoned wedge. Beautiful opera going on in the background. And fresh lettuce and salad. Lettuce and salad and other stuff. What a way to end a day. I tell you, it's been a pretty full-on couple of weeks for me with what I've been doing. And to sit down here tonight, see these buildings light up and the forest starting to light up, it's just really, really, really nice and relaxing. It's like it's like something I deserved, I think. Anyway, I'm going to finish eating this extraordinary meal, and then it should be dark enough to see some of the lights. Arigato, thank you. Here we go, going down. Told you we'd be back, and we are. Got a little bit of battery left, so hopefully we can get the journey going down with the lights on the cable car now. Lovely, relaxing up there, and it's time to cool down a bit. Here we go. That takeoff is so vicious. I'm going to try to put the camera, now that we've left there, I'm going to try to put the camera out the window. Hopefully I won't lose it. We look back just very quickly to the herb garden all lit up at the top of the hill there. Kobe, the conservatory, looking special there at the halfway down the mountain, and the cable car lit up with spotlights just to blind the people within the cable car. As we go past these trees, I will put the camera out again. I don't want the camera to be wiped out by a branch. As we come into a cable car stop first, though. Maybe you can get a quick shot here. There we go. Unfortunately, the action cameras do not have the best sensors in them, so I don't know how good this image is going to be or how smooth it's going to be, but it is what it is, and it can be is no more. People are still going up. We go, hello! Hi! They weren't too sure. They were like, do we want to wave at this man? I don't know if we want to wave at him. I'm friendly. I'm in a cage. It's bloody hot, but I'm friendly. Alright, let's go number 37. Here it goes. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! It's that first bit over the edge that really swings. Here we go. Oh my god. Oh! Dang! That's just so bad. I'd hate to think what it was like in a friggin' earthquake. I tell ya. Another cable car go by with the floodlight. Whoa, kind of spooky. Oh, the moon's over there. When the moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie, that's amore. That has nothing to do with Kobe, but... oh, it could too. That's a Kobe. Things will ring, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Excuse me if you say that you know that that's amore. That's amore. Okay, I'm going to try get a shot with the mobile as well. Okay, got a shot with the mobile for the members. If you are not a member yet, go have a look because it'll be a better colour than with the action camera. Oh, that's a waterfall down there. The waterfall's lit up. Oh my god, we missed it. Have to have a look at that sometime. Oh, there is one hell of a big insect in here. I don't know what you are, Mr. Insect, but stay away. Oh, it is a huge insect. Picture if he would have landed on me while the camera was outside. Oh my god, I would have dropped the camera. I hear fireworks. Where? There. Oh my god, there's a tree in the way. And there's a cable car stop in the way. And there's a bright light in the way. Oh my god! We missed the fireworks! Well, we made it back down to ground level. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. If you did enjoy it, why not buy me a drink at the PayPal account listed below, 50 cents or $1. It would be greatly appreciated. Hello. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. The big insect was scaring me. It was like, ah! Thank you. Have a good night. Bad Hatter is here. Hello, Bad Hatter. I was going to reply to you in the type, and I was thinking, the video's nearly finished, so I'll just wait. You'd think tourists probably think it's boring going up there, so it's not worth going up at all. You know, I don't even think tourists know it exists. Like, honestly, I don't think most tourists, I know, like, we are tourists, you and I are tourists, and, you know, you look around Japan and I look around Japan, so we know what's in Japan because we explore what's in Japan. Hi, Michael. But generally speaking, I think 99.999% of tourists don't actually know what's in Japan. Like, Kobe and Osaka are like 13 minutes away on the Shinkansen, half an hour away on a local train. So it's like, it's part of Osaka, really. I mean, it's just like me going from Melbourne to the city. It's that close. Yet, if you say to people, have you seen the waterfall behind Kobe Station? They're like, huh? What do you mean there's a waterfall behind Kobe Station? Because they just don't know it's there. The Herb Garden, I don't think they know it's there. The cable car, to be fair, isn't easy to find. I always have a problem trying to find that particular cable car. It is kind of like hidden away. You can see, if you watch the video back at the beginning of the video, you'll see a staircase. So obviously the staircase and the path was there way before the cable car was there. And they've just sort of like fitted the cable car in where they could type thing. But I don't think tourists know. And the whole time we were up there at the top, you could see they were only Japanese people, which was wonderful, I've got to say. And this is a thing I like, when you were saying that it's relaxing and calm and, you know, they're having a nice little chat and the music's not too loud. Everything is just perfect, you know what I mean? And I think if tourists were up there, it would ruin it in a way, because they'd be yelling at each other and, you know, really just not relaxing and soaking it in. But the vibe I was getting up there, because I've been up there during the day, I've been up there at night, and during the day, it is, I suppose, more of a, well, not tourist vibe, but it's more like older people going up there during the day, actually walking through the herb garden, walking down the hill, going to the tea house. And you know how older people just love gardens? It's kind of like that vibe during the day. At nighttime, the vibe I was getting up there was, this is the place that the Japanese people that live in Kobe go to at night to wind down after work, especially in the boiling hot summer, because it was very hot. They just go up there and just chill for a few hours and just, you know, forget about the day that's been and really wind down. And that's what happened while I was up there. I really, really wind down. It was great. That meal was beautiful, perfection. I know it was in like a throwaway container with plastic knife and fork. But as you were mentioning, Mad Hatter, they just know how to cook meat. They respect it and they cook it. And even in a place like that, which is just like a little rooftop bar, that chef that's cooking the meat, he would be qualified to cook that meat. He wouldn't just be somebody they got off the street and went through some sort of training, you know, in-house training, you know, chuck a bit of meat on the barbie, whatever. Like, he would have actually trained to learn how to handle that meat. And it's just extraordinary. It was very good. You'll have to watch it back because I missed all of it. That's okay. Then go to Tokyo, Osaka, and Hiroshima. Even Hiroshima, I think a lot of tourists don't go to Hiroshima. I suppose more do than a lot of other places in Japan. But you know, but it is good in a way, because there's no tourists where we go. We can do more in a day, and that was the point in using the Shinkansen pass, 14 cities in 14 days that I did. Because when you're in a busy city like Osaka, how much can you actually do in the day? And that's the answer is very, very little. Because everywhere you go, it's heaving with people. If you try to go in somewhere, it's heaving with people. Once you're in there, you've got to battle around because it's heaving with people. And all of a sudden, your day's gone. But like Kobe, because there was nobody there when I was there, I went to the bay. I went on the Ferris wheel. I walked around. I looked at the shops. I had some lunch. I went on the boat. I did a boat cruise. I then went and looked at the shopping precinct. I went back to my hotel and freshened up. I went to the cable car. I went up the cable car to the herb garden. I had something to eat. You know what I mean? Like, you can actually fit a lot more in your day when there's no tourists. And that's why I like to be away from the tourist areas in Japan. You get bigger bang for your buck. At no point during those 14 days, and we had a new city every day, at no point did I think, oh my God, I saw nothing in this town or this city and I'm just rushing it, jumping on the train again. I had like all day and the night to do many, many, many things, and I could fit them in very easily. You enjoy yourself better without tourists? Oh, of course you do. And you get to soak into the atmosphere and the vibe. When you're around tourists, you are... I don't know if you act like tourists, but it takes away the vibe, that relaxation vibe. Up there, you could see in that video now, the way they were chatting and just chilling. And like, it was the vibe of the locals. It was the local vibe. It wasn't the tourist vibe that's very chaotic and it's, oh, look at the lights, oh, look at this, oh, you know what I mean? It was very, very, very chilled. A bit of the video which wasn't in there, which I'll show you now, which isn't very good footage. None of my footage is very good, but this is very quick. We just go through the gift shop and I kind of like flick the camera everywhere, so you don't get to look at it properly. But the gift shop up there is all essential oils and herbs and all that alike. And yes, you can bring them back to Australia. They're perfectly fine to bring back. And it doesn't matter how many you bring back either. It's perfectly fine because each bottle that you bring back, even if it's hand luggage, can't exceed 100 mils. And of course, you're buying essential oils, which is like only 15 mils. So you can bring back as many as you like. But that's sniffing gallery that I was in. And I know nothing about smells. What you can do is you can smell and go, I like this, and buy several different oils if you wanted to, and mix them yourself or do with them yourself. But you can actually get them to mix your own concoction. So, you could say, as an example, oh, I like the mint with, a little bit of citrus and a little bit of this. And you get the cards, mix A with D with Q as example. And they will come up with that concoction. All those herbs, herbs and essential oils and that all come from the herb garden, all come from the property there. So it's all local stuff. And I got the lavender. I would have got more, but this was coming to the end of my trip. I was kind of broke by then. But I got the lavender because it is just so strong. It is ridiculously strong, the lavender in Japan. And in Kobe, in the herb garden, they really, really, really highlight lavender. You can get beautiful lavender ice cream there at the herb garden, for example. And lavender is very good for migraines, which I suffer from. Lavender on the eyes is very good for that. And I just love the smell of lavender. And my sister hates lavender, which makes me want to get it even more. You had a really nice trip. This was one I would like to take. Yes, there's a lot of Japan, as you had shown, that a lot of people don't see. But the whole point in it, Michael, was really that it's not hard to get around Japan. You don't have to do 14 cities in 14 days like I did. But I wanted to do it to show you that if I can do 14 cities in 14 days and I don't get stressed and I don't get fatigued and I don't get tired and all of that sort of stuff, then you could do 6 cities in 14 days. Do you know what I mean? Or 7 cities or 8 cities. The point of the whole exercise for this last trip was to show you that it is the easiest country anywhere on the planet to get around, and you don't need to think of what you're doing. And we were there during a typhoon as well, so everything theoretically could have gone wrong for us with the typhoon and the like, but everything just worked, and that's the point. Everything in Japan just works. So, why, even with the streams I did and the videos I did, I know for a fact that nobody that watches it, that is going to Japan for the first time, will go past Kyoto, Osaka, and Tokyo. They will still just do that, no matter what I show, no matter what I say. I know you like to explore a bit more, Michael, so I hope that at least one person picks up on something and goes, you know what, I can go somewhere different. I know Mad Hatter already travels completely around the country. Mad Hatter's been to a lot of places that I've never been before. So, yeah, you know, it's what I like about Japan. Get away from the tourists and just get to these places. So I'll show you this little gift shop thing, and then we'll come back and have a chat again. The domes were the conservatory, darling. Yes. So as you're going down the mountain, there is a cable car stop there, but I highly recommend get to the top on the cable car. So just buy a one-way cable car ticket is my recommendation, and then walk down the mountain, because then you'll get to walk past the waterfall and through all the herb garden. The honey is the only thing you can't bring back to Australia, of course, but the honey is actually from the garden as well. But in the conservatory there, greenhouse, in other words, very British in there, very, very British, and there's some British tea houses in there as well in the conservatory, in those domes, where you get a beautiful cup of tea and beautiful English china cups and saucers and the like. And on the other side of the conservatory, which you didn't see, there's like a patio area with more plants and bits and pieces around that actually looks over the mountain range a different sort of way. Really beautiful. And in there as well, they have themed stuff, very British. So like there's a room in there. They have all these different scenes, and one of them is like a bathroom, an old English bathroom with the old bath, on the legs, and there's plants and flowers sort of like flowing out of the bath like water would. So they made these plants look like water coming from the bath, and then you go into the old English country kitchen. And, you see all the plants and herbs and bits and pieces all scattered around. So absolutely beautiful. And these things are all free to go in. You have to pay for the cable car, but you don't have to go on the cable car if you don't want to. You can walk up the mountain. I highly recommend, though, it is a pretty steep mountain to catch a cable car one way and then walk down the mountain is what I'd do. Have you been on long? Yes, we've shown 2 videos so far, and they're the only 2 videos I have to show, but hello, Pauline. You can always watch it back later, and I'm sure you'll like it because it's to do with gardens and essential oils and smells and all that sort of stuff. Can you walk up and take the cable car back down? Yes, yeah, of course you can. Yeah. So you can pay for a one-way cable car trip, but it is very, very steep. I highly recommend walking down than walking up. You're going to see the same going up as what you are down, but it is still a hike going down because you actually weave around the place. So, for example, as you're coming down from where we had the dinner, you curve down like this, but then you have to curve around to get to the conservatories, and then you curve back round and sort of like zigzag through all the different gardens as you go down. And there's little paths veering off as well that you want to go down, because some of them have like water features in that they've created, or special theme gardens that they've created. It's like a little maze as you come down. It's very, very good. And again, zero tourists. Michael was saying that he likes to be near the water because of a lot of boats. Well, anywhere in Japan you're near water and boats. That's the point of it all. And I know when you went to Japan, you went there on a tour, so they kept you in the tour, so you didn't really explore and that's why we were showing you. Your only ever worst case scenario, very very worst case scenario, a train ride away from boats and the ocean. So like if Japan is like this and Hokkaido's up here and Hokkaido's up here and Kagoshimima's down here, Tokyo's here, you can get to the other side of Japan on a Shinkansen in like an hour. So you can go from one ocean to another ocean in like an hour. It's all very, very close. As for going to Tokyo for music and exploring the old-time electronics, you would like to see the future ones too, you don't have to do that in Tokyo. There's better music outside of Tokyo, I tell you. Tokyo is your normal big city, you know, your Los Angeles, your Sydney, your London, whatever. There are places in Tokyo that we went to, that we showed you, where tourists don't go, that still has the more original Tokyo vibe going on. But I would say there's nothing in Tokyo music-wise that is unique from where you're coming from. Certainly, if you go to, out and about into country towns or even Sapporo, they've got a massive music scene in Sapporo of local artists, local music, local instruments. A lot of the country towns, they still play some original Japanese instruments. I don't know the name of them, but, they've got some really weird sort of instruments and musical stuff going on in these little country towns that you don't get in the big cities. As for the tech, I don't know in 2023 if there's any really future tech. You get tech, not future in Japan anymore. You get it on the day it's released. So, for example, I got my Insta360 gimbal earlier in the year when we went to Japan, because the day it was released, it was available in big camera. It was available in the shops. Whereas in Australia, it was like a 3-month wait to get it. So the electronic suppliers provide Tokyo the stock from day one when it's available. You're certainly not going to buy anything in 2023 that is like 10 years ahead of your country. That doesn't happen anymore. You can still get the old tech, but you can get the old tech all throughout Japan. It's not exclusive to Tokyo again. I know they advertise it in like Akihabara for you to go to Akihabara and buy the old tech, which is what I do, so I don't have to carry it around the country. But there's old tech completely throughout the country. But new futuristic tech, I would say no. However, there is a bigger selection of tech. There's more colors, for example. Like tech in our country is usually black or white. You might be able to get tech there, which is green or blue or orange. You might have one type of cassette player in your country. They've got 4 different types of cassette players in the country. So that's not future tech. That's just more selection of tech. Instead of having like a selection of 5 turntables in your country, they'll have a selection of 20 turntables. So really, it's not future tech, it's a selection of tech, I suppose, or the variety of tech. You would rather walk up and cable car down. That's just because you are a healthy girl. That's what you are. But after doing Fuji, I never want to walk up anywhere again. I've still got this bug. I just can't get rid of him. So I think the days of future tech in Japan is long gone. That was a stereotypical sort of like image of the 80s when they were fiddling with robots and bits and pieces. But you can't walk in a shop in Japan and buy a robot. You can't walk into a shop in Japan and get some mind thinking machine that will make a cup of tea for you. So, I mean, they do have tech that you can't get in your country, don't get me wrong. I mean, especially the little tech I really love in Japan, because they have such small places and a lot of them live alone. You can get like single cookers and single this and single that and real compact stuff, which is really, really nice. But old tech is available all around the country, so is music. How are you, Pauline, I should say, by the way? Hope you're doing very well. I have a ginger and lemon tea here. that remember how I said this at the beginning of the stream, just in case you don't watch it again. You know when I said I got sick at the last place I stayed at? The onsen, I don't know what's going on. I've still got it, I just can't get rid of it. Is it cold there? Cold weather, beautiful day here. It's been rainy, it's been crappy. Ever since I came back from Japan, as per usual, I've pretty much stayed inside. It's as I said at the beginning of the stream as well, the attacks and stuff that's been happening in Melbourne has been, I won't say crazy, I would say it's been normal. And so every time you come back from Japan and you're thrust into this crime again, you just don't want to go outside. If I know Pauline knows, I don't know if Mad Hatter knows or Michael knows, but we had another incident where a car ran over people, a drug addict in a car running over people on the footpaths. Happened just the other night. They haven't charged the guy because he's got a mental illness. Because if you're on drugs, you've got a mental illness, so therefore he hasn't been charged. And, people died. And while that was happening, at the same time, some people got shot and were killed. And then some people got stabbed and were killed. And this was all in the one night. So, I don't go out. I don't go out in Australia at all. It's just unsafe. And I know, like, Pauline has a right way of thinking in a way where she says, she just doesn't watch the news, and the news does depress me. I get that. So I try not watch the news now. So I do agree with her on that point. But on another point, I think you do need to be aware of the news or what's going on in your city and try filter out the bullshit from the actual news, because you do need to be made aware of, like, cars driving down the footpath and running you over. It's not a once-off incident here. This happens all the time in Melbourne. When Victor moved in, I warned him. I said, look, you're new to Australia. You're new to Melbourne. When you're walking down the footpath in the city, be very aware of your surroundings and what's going on. And he thought I was joking. He was like, yeah, whatever. And I said, no, I'm serious, Victor. You could be walking down the footpath and a car can be barreling down and run you over. And he was like, whatever. Well, of course, when it happened on Friday, he was like, oh my God, you said this would happen. And I said, well, yes, because it happens all the time. It's not a once-off incident. So you do have to be somewhat connected to the news in your city, because if not, you are unaware of these things and you could be put into a situation that is dangerous. So, for example, Melbourne City is very, very dangerous. If I didn't stay in touch with some sort of news, I would potentially go to Melbourne City and put myself at risk. And again, it's not a one-off risk. This is an ongoing risk. This happens every year. Every single year in Melbourne, there's been cars driving down footpaths, killing people. You can find old VHS players online. You cannot find them in the shops here anymore. Mine are broken, and I still have some movies. I would really like music instruments in Japan. Well, again, Michael, it doesn't need to be Tokyo. Hard Off is the shop you want. You can buy new VHS over there still. But Hard Off is the shop you want for any second-hand VHS players and that. And Hard Off is completely around the country. And I think when you're out of Tokyo and you are in the more regional areas, you actually get a better selection of unusual old tech or, like VHS systems. I always wanted a Laserdisc player. I've never bought one because they're really frigging heavy. They're really frigging heavy. So it's supposed to would be Mission Impossible. You would have to bring it back from Japan, and it would be a pain with the excess luggage or with the baggage type thing. But when I was in Aomori, I went into Hard Off. I think it was Aomori. It could have been Fukushima. I went in one of these places, and they had like a complete collection of Laserdisc discs. I think I got a video somewhere. There was like shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves of these discs. And because it was in regional, these discs were like $4 each, $4 each. Whereas if I would have bought those discs at Hard Off in, say, Tokyo, Akihabara, because there's a demand there, because the tourists go there for the old tech, you pay more for it. So, that's why. You don't go to the city much, hardly ever. And see, that's a this is what I'm angry about, Pauline. We should be allowed to go to the city, and we should not fear these things. But of course we do in this country, and nothing happens. And, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, if you don't watch it, I was saying, you might think I was struggling to get up Mount Fuji and going, silly old man, he's unhealthy, and look at Shoto. But look at the two situations. Like in Australia, I don't go out because it's too unsafe. I walk around the block with Bella, and I'm even on guard doing that. And I'm really concerned doing that. I hate even just going to the shop and buying food because there's always attacks at the shops here as well. And it's just feral. So I never go out in Australia. Ever go out. I don't go to the cinema. I don't go look at craft shops. I don't go look at music shops. I don't go anywhere in Australia. So I went from zero exercise to climbing Mount Fuji and doing 50,000 plus steps a day in Japan. That's the minimum I was doing in the summer while I was there last time, a minimum of 50,000 steps a day. So I think I did quite good considering the health I have here to what I do there. I really do enjoy it. Not once have I ever walked anywhere in Japan, except when I walked down a mountain and I saw a sign about bears. Have I ever had to think, who's coming up behind me? Who's coming towards me? Is there going to be a car on the footpath? Like the roads in Japan, even in Ueno, you walk on the friggin' road. You are like 5 minutes away from Tokyo. You're in Tokyo. Ueno's a suburb of Tokyo. The biggest city on the planet, and you're walking on the road safely. Knowing no cars are going to hit you or anything, you know what I mean? And yet, in Australia, I can't even walk on the footpath without the risk of being killed by a drug addict. And what makes it even worse is, no action is done with these drug addicts that do this, because then the government would be held liable, and that's why they call it an illness. And what I mean by that is, in Melbourne City, they've opened up all these shooting galleries, tax-paid shooting galleries. This is the government opening up places for people to take drugs in the city. Oh, we don't want you taking you down an alley, you might overdose and die. Come into this building that the taxpayers paid for and shoot up or smoke your drugs, do whatever you want. You won't get in trouble, just go in there and we'll provide you the needles if you want it or whatever, and we'll show you how to cut up the drugs and take the drugs, do whatever you want. But they take the drugs and then they come out of the building. As soon as they come out of the building, what do? They assault people, they attack people, they run over people, they stab people, they shoot people. And, so the government will not say that they're drug addicts committing a crime. They go, oh, the poor people, they've had a mental illness. The air purifier, how am I finding it? I don't know, and I've asked Victor this as well. I don't know how I'm finding it. It's been on non-stop since I got it. I got two of them, one for here, one for the room, because you can hear my lungs and that have still not come clear. I am still full of congestion. Does the air smell clearer? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, they must do something. I've got the little beast down here, and it's still on. So here's one of them. Okay. I don't know if there's anything on the filter yet. I mean, I can have a look if anything's on the filter, but see, I mean, I'm not. Oh yeah, well, I see a couple of dog hairs on there, but I don't know. I mean, because see, the dirt goes into the filter, or the carbon and that in the filter. So I mean, I don't know what's in there. I don't know if it's actually done anything. I'm assuming it has to, otherwise they wouldn't be allowed to sell it. I don't know. Has any of you got an air purifier? Do let me know. But I got one to try beat this sinus thing. So yeah, I don't know is the answer to that, Pauline. I don't know. It can't be a gimmick. Can it be a gimmick? Because there's so many companies that sell them. But yeah, so I'll be a hermit again until I go away again. Pauline, I will get to posting those things in the coming week, most probably. I haven't been out except to get food, so I haven't been to the post office and that yet. But I will post your package hopefully this week. But yeah, there's no other plans for me really. Victor is here till November, so I'll have to start looking for another housemate soon. And in finding another housemate, I'm going to have to find somebody that can look after Bella if I go away. It's coming up near the end of the year, isn't it? So yeah, I don't really have any much more news to tell you all, really. You always get, I think, I don't know if Mad Hatter will agree, because Mad Hatter lives in a better part of Australia than what I do, but I always get very, 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 very down and depressed when I come back from Japan. Because everything is highlighted here, the dirt and the graffiti and the vandalism and that, so you always feel shit. The neighbours here, you can smell them smoking marijuana and hear them banging up there at 1 and 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, so, what do you do? Maybe you should move to a suburb like where I live. There's no suburbs like that anymore in Australia, Michael, unfortunately. A long way from the city. If you like the city, it could be because of that. If I go to Atlanta, I feel the same way. There's not many good places in Australia anymore, Michael. Drugs are rampant here, and it's just the disrespect of people in that now. It's the Bali effect. I always say Australia is just like Bali. Actually, it's true. When I was in Vietnam for my stopover, I actually had a little look around, like the hotel and that outside, and it was Australia. It was just how Australia is now. So in other words, Australia is really just a budget Asian country with money now. Like people are just like more animals rather than human beings. And I know that's not everybody, but I'd say it's a majority of people here. You get in a rut when you come back from Japan. Yeah. I mean, whoever thought I'd end up liking the place, let alone feeling safe there and happy there and all that sort of stuff. There was a little bit of hope that I might have been able to get a year visa. They're allowing anybody to get a working visa at the moment, even if you're not working. So that was a little bit of hope that I might have been able to swing something there. But looking online, if you're over 30, you can't get one. So my chances of ever living in Japan is just mission impossible. It physically can't be done. Once you're over 30, that's just it. Thanks for that clarification. What clarification? What? Not everybody. Yeah, not everybody. I'd say the majority, though. The majority of Australians, like, as an example, when the car was running over people the other night in Melbourne, one or two people helped the people that were being attacked, or that had been attacked. One or two people were helping these people that were on the floor and bleeding and bits and pieces. But 99.9% of the people were filming on their mobile phones, and some of them were even on the news laughing and chuckling. Oh, wasn't that cool? Oh, look at that! And I mean, that's the points I suppose I have. The people here don't really give a flying rats about anybody. You had the one or two people that were helping, but everybody should have been helping. Everybody should have been, like, nobody should have been on their mobile phones. Nobody should have been uploading to social media. Or live streaming or anything like that, and then they were like chasing the criminal, not to try stop him, but just to film them on their mobile phone. There was a bit of footage that appeared on Facebook the other day, and I generally don't go on Facebook anymore. I hate Facebook. I think Facebook's a real place of just hate. There's no good on Facebook. But there was I am always critical of our police. Always critical of our police, because they are pretty much lackluster and lazy these days. And again, Just like when I'm talking about Australians as exception to the rules, you get one or two that are really good people that work really hard. And this guy had committed a serious crime. He had stabbed somebody. And this one police officer tackled this guy to the ground. And this guy was bigger and obviously on drugs. And he was pretty much beating up the cop. And people were yelling out to the cop, "Oh, you pig, get off him," and "Leave him alone, you bastard." And they were filming with the mobile phone. Not one of them went to help the cop whatsoever. They were actually abusing the cop, "Oh, you bastard, get off him." And why have we become like this? And there's no turning back, unfortunately, because the children that are growing up now is seeing this as normal, which means they don't know any other way. And when they get older, they're only going to get worse. Police state, and it's only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And yeah, it's, you all know it. I walked down the road in the middle of the day and a murder happened in front of me on the footpath. An innocent person just got murdered in front of me on the footpath. It could have been me if I was 30 seconds earlier. It would have been me instead of the guy in front of me. Stuff like this shouldn't happen. And if it does happen, it should be severe consequences and punishment. And the community should be uproared about it. The community just get on their mobile phones here and treat it as a laugh because they don't care. We don't care if you were run over. Wasn't us. Going to look great on social media though. It's just crap. It's just crap. And of course in Japan, even though crimes do happen, because that's the Australian argument, crimes happen in Japan, they do, but per head capita, it's the lowest crime rate in the world. The community are there for one another and help each other. And, when that jewellery heist happened, and of course that will never happen again, that was a once-off. Those people were caught pretty much straight away, and they're going to face a lifetime of very hard labour in jail, which is going to send a very strong message out to anybody else not to do it. But while that crime was happening, these thugs that were robbing the jewellery shops, 6 of them or whatever it was, there was a woman, no bigger than Pauline. And I know most of you haven't seen Pauline, but Pauline's not the biggest person on the planet. And she went up to the jewellery shop door, which was a glass door, because she saw what was going on, and she was pushing it closed to try trap the criminals. She didn't even have to think about, what if I die or get injured, or should I be filming this for social media instead? Her first reaction was, what these people are doing wrong, and I may not be able to stop them, but I might be able to delay them until the police get here long enough. And she pushed on the door. Subsequently, she didn't win, they got out, but they did delay her she did delay them for quite a period of time. And those criminals, in case you don't know, they were paid off by overseas people. So these criminals were Japanese people. So they were not used to crime anyway, but they were even confused. This is why she managed to delay them, because she's pushing the door closed. These 6 big guys are trying to get out, and they're like, "Oh God, we don't want to hurt her, so we don't want to push the door too hard, or we don't want to smash the glass, but we do have to get away." And you could see them actually thinking about it. So, and then, once they were once they did get out of the jewellery shop, the other people that were around the area, they weren't filming for their own social media. They were all trying to do something to help the police and capture them. And there was some footage taken, but it was important footage. It wasn't, let's take footage of the guy that's running out and go, "Oh my God, look at him." One guy ran up to the back of the car that they were getting in, the getaway car, and he pulled out his mobile phone. But the only thing he concentrated on with his mobile phone was the registration plate on the car. There's a registration plate of the car. So it was the community working together that the criminals were caught straight away, and because of it puts people off doing crimes like this. So crimes like this don't happen in Japan, in other words. If they do, it's a one-off type thing. Where here, it went on for a few city blocks. It didn't just happen here. It happened throughout the city blocks. And all people were doing was laughing and filming on their mobile phones. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's cool. Oh, look at him. Oh, he did a burnout. Oh, he's gone through an intersection. Oh, he's hit a car. Oh, he's hit another person. Oh, look at that. These were the reactions of people on the television. One guy's like, oh, I came out of the pub and, oh, it was so, he went so fast. Oh, it was so cool. Oh, I thought it was like a Hollywood movie. No, there's nothing funny or enjoyable or exciting about a drug addict in a car mowing down people at peak period at a tram stop on a footpath. That's Australia. So, yeah. What do you do? It's never going to change, though. It's not going to change in my lifetime. All I can do is keep visiting Japan, and when I go over there, I get 3 weeks or so of living how any person should really live, just to then come back and have several months of how people shouldn't live. So I don't know if it's a very good existence. I don't know if that's what life's supposed to be, but that's all my life is now. I live for 3 weeks, and then I don't live for 6 months. Then I live for 3 weeks and don't live for 6 months. And that's why I try keep going back all the time. I can't afford to go back all the time. It's certainly not within my budget. But the body and the brain and that says you need to go back. You need to go back. You can't just be a hermit in your house. You need to go back. So yeah, that's it. You've all gone very quiet, so I've either bored you or you're just listening or you're disagreeing with me or whatever. Please let us know. It is very sad. And again, like, there's been crimes in Japan where people have died, some serious frigging crimes. But you look at these crimes and you go, yeah, but look what the people did. Look what the community did. They weren't going to stand for this. They weren't going to stand for this at all. And so because of it, you do feel safe, even though there are crimes now and again. You do feel safe because you know that if something happens, they got your back. People in Japan, they got your back. Everyone from the police to the... Mad Hatter will tell you, you don't walk a block in Japan without being without police police are on the beat. Police are so proactive. You got the little police huts everywhere, and you know that if something happens, they've got your back. Here, there's no protection. Nobody's got your back because the arrogance of people, most people in Australia, is they're only interested in themselves. They don't care about their next door neighbour. They don't care about anything. Where are you going anywhere new when you go back, Mad Hatter? So out of these, did you say 11 cities in the month? Are you going anywhere new? 11 cities in a month is great. That gives you a few days in each city. No, but I mean, you don't have that experience because in some ways you are, I don't know, you're older, you have no need to go to the city. I mean, obviously lots of reasons why you don't have that experience, but you could. But the point is, other people are, and you've got to be angry about it. Another problem with Australia is nobody speaks up, and you should speak up. You should speak up to your politicians and your government and the police. I do all the time. I get criticised for it all the time. But like I messaged Dan Andrews, the Premier here, 3 times the other night. And I said, this is partly his fault in this crime-ridden state because he allows people to shoot up with drugs in the CBD area, in these drug shooting galleries that he's opened to protect these idiots. He's got to be to blame that there's no police on the street in the CBD area or anywhere. There's no police. The last crime that happened, the car was driving around in the city for over an hour running over people. setting things on fire, stabbing people to death. There was no police, you know. Amori, I really want to go back to Amori. I think that there is a lot to see there that I only discovered pretty much when I was leaving. As I say, when I first arrived there, I thought, oh, a bit of a ghost town. Don't know if I like this. But as the hours went on, it was like, why the hell aren't you staying here longer? I think that that's going to be a real hidden gem, Aomori. I think it is a real hidden gem. So really, really do explore that. I think that's definitely, even if I go to the Sapporo Snow Festival in February, hopefully, I'll be going to Aomori because I really, really do want to explore that. Kagoshima, I found some things in Kagoshima that I didn't realize the other times I've been there before. But yeah, Kagoshima is pretty good as well. Sendai, I like Sendai. I just find Sendai out of all of Japan, I find Sendai the hardest city to get around. I think there's a lot of stuff to do there, but I find it the hardest city to get around, which is still easier than Australia. But when you're in Japan and everything's easy to get around, and then all of a sudden you arrive in Sendai and you go, oh God, buses, got to try to figure it out. And, you know, it's like, it's a more confusing thing. So do I want to see more of Sendai? I do want to see more of Sendai, but I don't want to use my brain with Sendai, and I have to use my brain in Sendai is what I'm saying. But Aomori, I will definitely be spending a couple of days there myself. If you see anything there, if you discover anything there, please do let me know. And I have to go into that Museum of the Lanterns. That just looks extraordinary, those lanterns. I even want to go on that ship. Yeah, very good. It's very good, Aomori. But yeah, now I just sit here and, as I say, look for another housemate and hopefully try save up. And yeah, Vietjet was supposed to be giving away free airfares the other day, but that was false advertising by them, so everybody's uproared. But I don't think I want to go budget airline again. It is too long. I think that even helps to the sickness that I get. I think it is worth paying more and going direct. And when you think about it, even though it is still cheaper going to Vietnam, you have to buy visas to get into Vietnam. You have to pay for accommodation in Vietnam. You got to add that all on top of your airfare. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that there would only be $200-300 difference in flying direct. But I think for health-wise and energy-wise and just everything-wise, I think flying direct is going to be the way to go from now. A lot of the airlines as well now, if you have these stopovers, you've got to pay for excess baggage twice. They don't say, well, you're flying from Melbourne to Japan. It's our fault that you've got to stop at Vietnam. So we won't charge you for the luggage. Now, like Scoot, they charge you twice. You've got to fly from Melbourne to Singapore. You have no choice. They don't fly direct. But you book to go from Melbourne to Japan. They make you pay for luggage twice now. They go, yeah, you got to pay for from Melbourne to Singapore, and then you got to pay from Singapore to Japan. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and start paying to go direct from now on. But in doing that, I'll have to do even less in Japan again. I'll have to just pick a city and just stay in that city the whole time, which is what will happen when I go to Sapporo anyway for the snow festival, apart from if I get down to Aomori. But, you know, Sapporo, I did that this year, of course. I didn't do any other city apart from Sapporo. I frigging loved it. Oh my God, that month I spent in Sapporo and didn't go anywhere else was just like the best. It was so good. You really felt like you were a local. It was so good. Yeah, sat on the runway a long time as well. Awfully long time. Yeah, because it's budget. They don't care. Customer service on the plane was pretty sad. One of the flights, my seat was broken. They played that stupid song non-friggin' stop on the plane. There's a lot of there's a lot of drawbacks with going budget. If I was flying to just like Singapore or that again, I would go budget, but I only ever fly to Japan now. So, you can't fly direct budget to Japan, unfortunately, he says. So yeah, I'll have to hunt around for fares, but if it means flying direct and staying in a capsule motel, so be it. No, I did. I stayed at a capsule motel in Sapporo this time around. Yeah. But generally, yeah, I did. Actually, yeah. That's a thought. I'm going to stay at that same capsule motel again. That was pretty good. I know when I uploaded the pictures, I don't know if you remember seeing them, some of you were going, there's no roof, and, what is this place you're staying at? It looks a bit dodgy. No, that was the theme, that was the style of it. I actually really liked it. It was industrial, factory, warehouse, whatever. It was all brand new as well. It was designed to look like that, and it was I got to say, it was pretty cool. And those rooms, those capsule rooms were really, really big and private. A lot of capsules are like one on top of the other, and the entrance to both of the capsules are on the same side, where this was like staggered. So even though there was a capsule underneath you, their entrance was here, where your entrance was up the stairs and here. So you had a lot more privacy. And yeah, I think I'll stay there. I think that's what I'm going to do. My game plan then will be, flying direct there if I can find a good fare and staying in a capsule motel. Whereas in the winter, I usually try stay in a hotel, because with the winter comes wet weather gear and ski gear, and you want room and to dry off and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I think I'll do that. Good idea, you all. Thank you for that. Good idea. I got not much more to tell you, really. I am now going to, go cook dinner, and I think I'm going to cook dinner. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? Yeah, it's only 5 o'clock. If you want to say anything, feel free. It's only 5 o'clock. I can hang around for a little bit longer. It can be about Japan. It can be about anything at all. It's up to you. If you didn't watch the 2 videos, do watch them back a little bit later on. Not much more to say, really. I'm so tired since I came back from Japan. Oh my god. But I haven't been sleeping. That's the thing. I haven't slept since I've got back here. And it's because of the nerves and the stress and it's all that sort of stuff. So I've had very, very little sleep since I've been back. Couple of hours a night, if you're lucky. I think they have one called the honeycomb there, or the beehive, I think it's called. Yeah. The one that looked like the honeycomb was in... was where the typhoon was, and I can't think where that was. But you can get all sorts of capsule motels. You can get small ones, big ones, little ones, cramped ones. One's full of tourists, one's full of just Japanese people. If you ever do go to Japan, even if you're older, like I'd even recommend a capsule motel for Pauline, for example. And someone like Pauline might say, I'm getting older, I am not going into a capsule motel. They're completely different. They're something completely different to what you expect in any other country. Was it Osaka? Yeah, it was Osaka. Mad Hatter's been to a capsule motel in Japan. They are extraordinary. The services and the things you have. I think Pauline actually mentioned about one of the chairs, the luxurious chairs I was in. That was in the capsule motel. Capsule motels in Japan I think are the way to go if you are on a budget and it's a choice of going to Japan or not. Some of the places on this trip, I had no choice but to get a capsule motel because there was nothing else available, especially in the bigger cities. Tokyo, for example, there were no hotels available within my budget. I had to go capsule motel. So, they're perfectly fine. I've never had a problem with a capsule hotel. Apart from that one hotel that I went to, that was a real dive. That was in Osaka. That was the I had a real go at them as well about that. The one in Osaka. No, the one you're thinking of isn't in Osaka, Mad Hatter, but the bad one was in Osaka. And that place should be condemned. But again, we were in Osaka. It was a tourist hangout, so to speak. And because of it, you got what you would expect of a tourist capsule. It was awful. Absolutely awful. The next place I went to in Osaka, though, which I had to pay for, that was extraordinary. That hotel that I stayed at was ever so cheap. Ever so cheap. And that room, I showed you the room, didn't I? It was huge. It was beautiful. And you got free breakfast, and the staff were extraordinary, and they didn't have a lift. I was on the 5th floor, but they carried my suitcase up. They carried my suitcase down. It was an extraordinary... I would say that was the best hotel I've ever stayed at in my whole entire life in Osaka. So I went from the very worst I've ever stayed at in my whole entire life to the best I'd ever stayed at in my whole entire life. It was extraordinary. What was it called? I can't think what it was called. I'll have to find my booking for it. Do I have my booking for it? I highly recommend, if anyone goes to Osaka, you need to stay here. Do I have hotels.com on here? There, hotels.com. Talk a little about the active volcano you were on. Were you scared at all? Yes, the island, the one in Kagoshima, I was not scared at all. I've been there many, many times. It is a permanently erupting active volcano. Funny story with that permanently erupting double volcano, because it's a double volcano erupting. Is they know for a start when it erupts that what way the lava or anything is going to go. So they know that already, so you're perfectly safe. There a couple of thousand people live on that volcano. There's schools on that volcano. But they have security measures on that island just in case things go wrong. So they've got like cement shelters and like little war bunkers, and that they're all around the volcano. At no point do you feel in danger whatsoever. You feel more in awe that, oh, I'm on a volcano and it's erupting. But, you know, they've really studied it over the years. And I think they've studied it because they're under the belief of volcanoes and gods and all this sort of stuff. And so they know what it's going to do. So when you hear about the one like in New Zealand where the people died, which was really tragic, they never knew what that volcano was going to do. They had no idea. So, of course, when it erupted, they never knew. With the one in Kagoshima, that has, I think it has three or four major eruptions every year. So when we were on it, it was just like permanently erupting, but it's just like smoke and ash. But 2 or 3 times a year, it has full-on explosions. And it covers all of Kagoshima in ash. Kagoshima turns to night when there's major eruptions. And the whole city of Kagoshima goes under a few inches of ash. But nothing stops working there. That's the thing, nothing stops working. Even on the volcano, nothing stops working because they know exactly what it's going to do. And they use the volcanoes to the best of their abilities, knowledge, whatever. So as I mentioned, they have the natural hot spring on there that's heated by the volcano. So they use that for health reasons, But they also use that volcano for agriculture. They grow peaches, and there was something else on that volcano. And they do it because it's the best place in Japan to grow the peaches and whatever it was that they grow on there. It was peaches and it was a vegetable. And it's because of the pH levels and all this levels and everything. So it's grown on there. But the funny thing is, with that volcano, even though they know where the ash and all was going to go, that was floating in the ocean, water all around it. And many, many years ago now, the government, because you catch a ferry there, and the ferry runs 24 hours a day. There's a ferry every 5 minutes or so. 24 hours a day the ferry operates. But they said, the ferry's slow and it takes all the cars and all the trucks and yada, yada, yada. We should build a bridge. Let's build a bridge around the back way of the volcano so people can get the bridge, drive onto the volcano. So they built this mega structure bridge at the back of the volcano. You can see it on Google Maps. And after they built the bridge, there was a major eruption. And again, they knew which way the lava and that was going to go. But it was such a major eruption that the volcano that had an ocean all around it spewed enough lava out of it that it actually joined the mainland. And so on the back of the volcano now, it's actually joined to the mainland. So they have a bridge that does nothing. That you still drive on, but the bridge goes over land because the volcano is now joined to the land at the back of the volcano. And they say I've forgotten how long, in 100 years or something, the whole thing's going to be part of the mainland anyway. Just had a look to return the ball from the neighbour's children and picks some mandarins. Oh, I like your mandarins. I remember eating your mandarins. They're nice. So yeah, never scared of the volcano in Japan. You got to remember as well, Michael, in case you didn't know, Mount Fuji is also a double volcano. And it's active. It's an active volcano. Set to erupt even as we speak. It's set to erupt any time between now and in the next 10 years. But they know, they've studied enough. They know what way and what's going to happen when it does erupt. They've already started. They started while I was there on this trip, in fact. The evacuation procedure drills from when Fuji erupts next time. And I'm talking about drills of the city underneath Fuji. So the citizens already are going through drills in preparation for this eruption, which is going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. Was it this one? Yes. So the hotel I stayed at in Osaka was called Hotel Replace. Hotel Replace. Hotel Replace in Namba, Osaka. It was extraordinary. So do look at that. So yeah, they have a lot of natural disasters there. They're on top of a lot of them. Sometimes they even know when an earthquake's going to hit. They know an earthquake's going to hit before an earthquake hits in Japan. Unfortunately, an earthquake can be bigger than what they think it's going to be. So earthquakes can still do damage in Japan. And earthquakes can create tsunamis and the like. But their technology now at least pre-warns the citizens, not a lot of time, but they sort of go, there's going to be an earthquake in the next 10 minutes. So all the trains will stop. But yeah, no, the volcanoes, go to them. There's lots of volcanoes in Japan. There's loads of them. We went to two, which was Fuji and Kanagawa. God, I can't even think now. But there's plenty more volcanoes around Japan. There's loads of them. And they're all active. I don't think there's an inactive volcano in Japan. The last time Fuji erupted was because of an earthquake, by the way. So, as Japan has earthquakes every day, any one of those earthquakes can trigger off Fuji. Can you picture being up there where we were if there was an earthquake? It'd be pretty bad being up there, I think. I was actually dreading the thought of there being an earthquake while I was hiking up Fuji. But could you picture if it exploded while you were up the top of Fuji? Oh my god, how scary would that be? Absolutely scary. So yeah. The last time Fuji erupted, it didn't erupt from the top, it erupted out the side. So yeah, but they say the next eruption will be from the top. Anyway, I don't really have anything much more to tell you, good folk. I really do think I need to go and have something to eat and chill on the lounge and do nothing. I'm starting to feel a bit again from this congestion. Thanks for joining us today for the chat. I hope you did enjoy looking at the herb garden and the cable car. And if you didn't watch the beginning of the stream, please do so. And I will see you maybe later in the week with something new and exciting. Mad Hatter, thank you for being the first. Hope you have a good day. Mr. Rogers, thank you for joining us. As soon as you wake up, I can't think of anything better for your stomach than putting up with me as soon as you wake up. And Pauline, of course, thank you very much for joining us. Pauline, enjoy your mandarins. Wherever you are in this big, wide, wonderful world, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And I will see you again soon.